No one in the United States will teach you to beat a lie detector because of legal consequences. But I found an expert who not only told me how to beat it, but also exposed all the lies about the polygraph industry we're not supposed to know. And to put it to the test, I have 72 hours to train and beat a lie detector to get out of a real crime I've committed. So of course, the first thing I needed to do was commit the crime. I know they look small, but these will be very important later, because if I don't pass the lie detector test, I will literally have to turn myself into the police for these crimes. I parked where I wasn't supposed to, I loitered, I jaywalked, I sped, but most importantly, I stole this valuable necklace from my friend, and you'll see why it's super important later. The next step was to learn from a professional. So this is George, who taught me not only how to beat a lie detector, but expose some scary things about the entire polygraph industry. He explained that the way a lie detector works is by measuring 3 things: your cardiovascular, so heartbeat and blood pressure, your sweat levels, and your breathing. So these would be the things I would need to learn how to control with my own mind. So I started by working on learning to control my heart rate. I hit the gym, trying to control my heartbeat while running. You can actually control your heartbeat with your mind depending on what you think about, but I'll explain exactly what to think about later. Then I wanted to take it to the next level. So I headed down to a pool, and with the heart rate monitor strapped to my arm, I chained myself to a weight, then locked it on my wrist, and put a key inside of a box tied down with rope at the bottom of a pool. And in order to escape, I would need to get the key and unlock the lock underwater, and the single factor to help me stay calm and hold my breath longer, you guessed it, is to control my heart rate. When I got under the water, it was way more stressful than I thought. I managed to get the key out of the box within about 30 seconds. However, it was hard to see and hard to move. I tried to control my thoughts and keep my heart rate slow, but I quickly realized I wouldn't be able to open the lock with the key in my hand. I put the key in my mouth and desperately tried to find the keyhole, but as the seconds passed by, I just couldn't get it in. Obviously, I'm not going to put my life at risk for this exercise, but this was really stressful, and eventually I managed to unlock it underwater, and I was starting to feel more confident. So let me explain exactly how you beat a lie detector, because it's not what you think. Basically, there are 2 parts to a polygraph test. First, there's a control phase to get a baseline of those 3 things that are measured. This is where they'll ask you some basic questions like, have you ever lied before?
The expected answer for the ghost control questions is going to be
yes.
No.
Oh. No, I've never.
Did you ever lie to get out of trouble? No, I never lied to get out of trouble.
Another interesting thing they've done in the past is make you choose from a deck of cards. They will then ask you questions about the cards, and you need to respond with yes or no. Sometimes they'll make you lie or tell the truth. However, the catch is, they force you to pick the card, so they know the entire time whether you're lying or not. Or they might simply get you to write down a number. They will then ask you each number in a sequence and instruct you to say none of them are your numbers, where the lie will be very obvious. So in order to beat the lie detector, you want to respond more to the control questions than the real questions themselves. But what about the 2 other skills? On day 2, I started practicing my breathing. I needed to have a consistent breathing pattern and not break it unless I knew exactly what I was doing. So right now I'm just practicing breathing normally, but I also need to practice switching my breath for when it needs to seem like I'm nervous. So he says, don't do this. This is when you hold your breath. So instead, you want to decrease your breath so that it seems like you're nervous. So I spent most of the day working on that, then in the evening wanted to practice controlling my sweat levels. For me, what worked well was imagining situations that I've been in that made my hands sweat. Imagining myself having to hold on to something at extreme heights worked really well to make my hands sweat when I wanted. Now this is interesting. I want to talk about a few lies you've probably been told about polygraphs. You might have heard of the tack method, where you stick a tack in your shoe to cause you pain. Now you don't do this when you lie, obviously, because you don't want to react strongly during any lies. You do this during the control question, and it could work in some cases, but sometimes they have measures against it, like I'll have when I take the test.
There's a simple counter measure for that, which is for the polygraph operator to ask the subject to remove his shoes. There's another thing that's commonly used now in polygraph instruments. It's a seat pad. And what this pad measures is changes in the distribution of weight over the chair. So if you're pressing your toe down, that may show up on the seat pad, so activity on that.
The second lie that might actually really shock you, and I'm sorry to call out other fellow creators on here, but pretty much every lie detector video you've seen on YouTube isn't actually how a polygraph test works. On YouTube, you see a lot of people doing like lie detectors, and the content, it always follows, like the interrogator will ask a question, then they'll answer the question, and then, there'll be this big dramatic moment of pause, and then they'll say, true or false, or you tell the truth or you're lying, is that going to actually happen in the room?
There's a guy in Los Angeles who does a lot of polygraphs for YouTube posts because he's cheap. He's local to Los Angeles, Southern California, and he gives the responses or the sort of results that people want and expect.
On day 3, I decided to record myself lying and telling the truth to see if I could gather any tells when I lie. So you guys are going to ask me questions. I'm going to look directly into the camera while I tell the truth or lie.
Okay. What's your name?
My name's Tyler.
Do you wear glasses?
No.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a content creator.
How old are you?
21.
What's your favorite sport?
I really like hockey.
Are you a good skater?
I'm really good at skating, yeah.
Are you going to lie on the polygraph test?
I will 100% lie on the polygraph test.
Do you drink pre-workout?
No, I don't drink caffeine.
Are you traveling to Arizona just to take a polygraph test?
Yeah, I'm literally going there just to take the test.
Do you have children?
I do, yeah. I have 2 young kids.
What is your favorite thing about being a father?
That's a good one. I really like when I take my daughters to the park and I get to see them interact with the other girls there and make friends.
Did you commit a bunch of crimes yesterday?
Yeah, I did. A bunch of small crimes, obviously, but they were technically crimes that have been committed.
Have you ever traveled to South America?
Yeah, I've been to South America a couple
South
of times.
Okay, where have you been?
There's a mountain there. I would go looking for chinchillas.
Did you steal a necklace from Jordan?
I did steal the necklace from Jordan. Yeah, it's this necklace that I'm wearing right here.
Did you find any chinchillas?
Now it was time to put this to the test, but rather than lying to my friends, I needed to put myself in a real situation, one where I would actually feel uncomfortable and still need to lie. So, using a fake resume, I had a job interview for a position I literally knew nothing about, with experience on there that I've never done. Matt, off we go. I'm so sorry, Matt, if you see this. I don't mean to waste your time. Maybe I should take off my aviators.
Alright,
Good luck.
bye.
He asked me about my time working at previous jobs for 5 years that I never had. I made up stories, tried to mimic truthful body language, countered with some questions for him, and some other lying techniques I discovered that I'm not really going to share on here. And I was succeeding. I held a meaningful conversation with him for half an hour about a complete lie, which started to make me question how much of everything we hear actually is the truth. So now, we're going to go through a little bit of a mock test. I have a heart rate monitor on my arm that Paul's able to see at all times, and he's going to interrogate me, and we'll see if I can pass.
Have you ever stolen anything?
Nope.
Your heart rate almost consistently dropped. Now it's back up.
Okay.
That's good. Did you steal the necklace from Jordan?
No.
Do you know where the necklace is?
No, I don't know what the necklace is.
State code 1157.
Awesome.
Just drop it. Have you ever been to Africa?
I have been to Africa.
And did you meet anybody there?
I met a girl there. We actually dated for a little while, but long distance didn't work out. My palms are sweating a little bit. Because that is a tough lie when you gotta like start fabricating stories out of nowhere.
You're gonna bomb this thing so hard.
You should have seen him, bro, at the interview. He killed the interview.
It's gonna take you so long to answer questions because you're gonna need to first establish, is this a control? Do I want to lie? And then you're gonna have to think of the thing in your mind to either calm you or like get you excited.
Would you ever steal?
No, I don't understand there. It's really cool seeing the heart rate go up. Deeper breaths seem to get the heart rate to skyrocket, and then it's just went up 3, 4. Later that evening, I wanted to try one last thing to put my lying and telling skills to the test by playing a game of poker, a game about strategy and bluffing. Paul and I played heads up. However, we asked each other questions. Do you have a pair?
Not yet.
Check.
Raise.
Call.
Sweet turn.
Check.
Yeah, I'll raise you.
Do you have a pair?
Gotta wait to see.
I fold. Check.
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 Do you have a pair?
I do, yeah.
I fold.
You have a pair?
No.
No, I believe you. I'll raise. Alright.
Check.
I'll go all in.
Call. I did in fact have a pair. Finally, it was time for me to take the test, but you'll notice I had to travel. Here's the thing, remember how I said everything on YouTube isn't entirely real? Well, polygraph tests are taken pretty seriously. So when I called around asking to beat a lie detector test and film it, I got denied every single time. So in order to make this video possible, I had to do something really risky. Okay, so it's like probably 2 or 3 days ago from when you're seeing this in the video. I just booked the polygraph test and this was insane. I'm literally having to lie to the lie detector place just to get this in. in because no one wants me to film and put this online. Everyone is really secretive, so I feel like I'm literally exposing the industry by doing this. So I came up with a whole backstory, told him that my friend is accusing me of stealing his necklace, this necklace right here, and that he wants me to film it and prove to him that I haven't stolen it. The questions will be about me stealing the necklace, but the amount of lying that I've had to do so far just to get into these situations where I'm gonna have to beat the lie. This is insane. This is crazy. Eventually I got to the hotel, and in the morning I'd be taking the real test. So right now I'm in my hotel room getting ready to go take the lie detector test. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous, even though I can't be. Through this entire video, I've been wearing this necklace, the necklace that I stole. And every time you've seen it out, I've been telling the truth. Every time you've seen it tucked in, I've been telling a lie. But now going into the polygraph exam, I'm gonna have this off and in my pocket. I got to the place and met the guy interrogating me. I won't reveal his name or face, and I've modified his voice because he seems like a nice guy, and I'm not trying to expose him particularly, but rather the polygraph test itself. However, I can tell that he took his job seriously, as you're about to see.
Take your jacket off.
Okay.
Any jewelry on your fingers, hands, wrists?
Nope.
Set your jacket. Go over there. Go over there. Set your jacket. No. Set your jackets on the chair over there.
Here?
Over there. Yep, in the blue chair. All right. Anything in your pockets?
Yes.
Take out, set on the table over there.
Okay.
Empty your pockets out. Turn your cell phone all the way off. You're 21 right now.
Yeah.
I'll need you to print your name, sign your name, and date it. Today's the 25th.
Okay.
I will have gone over every question with you word for word before we actually do the exam.
Okay.
I'm going to go over the initial 4 questions with you right now that we talked about and agreed to. We're going to take that off as soon as we're ready to start the exam, and I'm back in my desk.
Okay.
Okay, and do you have anything in your pockets? No. Okay.
He sat me down and hooked me up to the equipment. I was sitting on a special pad that detects your movement, so the tack method wouldn't have worked even if I wanted to use it. On top of that, he told me at the beginning to breathe consistently the entire time. So basically, I had to control my heart rate and sweat levels with my mind on command.
All right.
But that's what I've trained for.
Let's get your focal spot going on.
I tried to remain as calm as I could. I knew that if I failed, I would have to turn myself in for all the crimes I've committed. And yet I still had the necklace in my back pocket, which made it even more stressful.
The exam's about to begin.
Okay.
Is your true first name Tyler?
Yes.
You believe me when I promise you I will not ask a question we have not already gone over word for word.
Yes.
Do you know where Jordan's missing necklace is?
No.
Between the ages of 18 and 20, do you remember ever speaking disrespectful about a teacher?
No. Now you'll notice he's not telling me whether I'm telling the truth or not right away, and that's because that's not how it works in real life. After the test, it will take them a while to evaluate the results, but I'll show them to you in a second.
Did you benefit in any way regarding Jordan's missing necklace?
No.
During the first 18 years of your life, do you remember ever cheating on a test? At any time during the month of March of 2023, did you take a necklace that belonged to Jordan?
No.
Do you know anyone else who took the missing necklace from Jordan?
No.
The exam is over. Don't move. Continue breathing normal as you are. Do not move yet.
Okay. Before I show you the results, where either I'll pass or have to turn myself into the police, I just want to say it's easy to lie when you know how. I've learned how, but because it's easy, that's why it's so important to tell the truth. Hey, this is Tyler. Sir, I missed your call earlier.
Not a problem. I think we need to go over the questions, don't we?
Yeah.
Hold on here 1 second. Pull your file.
Okay.
Okay. Good news, you're showing no deception on all 4 of the questions.
Awesome.
Probably no questions that you have, right?
Nope. Okay, you take care as well. Bye-bye. We passed. We did it. We beat a lie detector.